Hello and welcome back to eDakshina. I hope you guys are enjoying the coding and tutorial series. Now again I am here with a new topic on JavaScript. तो शुरू करने से पहले जिन्होंने चैनल नहीं सब्सक्राइब किया प्लीज सब्सक्राइब द चैनल एंड प्रेस द बेल आइकन. तो शुरू करते हैं आज का टॉपिक. So we all know how to create an object. Okay, so if we have to create an object of user, we can create it like this. Okay, but there are some limitations with this method of creating an object. Okay, we can only create 2 or 3 objects, or maximum up to 10 we can create objects like this. But what if we have to create multiple objects? Is this method going to be the smartest way of coding? The answer will be no, right? So what can we do to create multiple objects? So for this, in the JavaScript world we have constructors for this. Okay, so what are constructors? A constructor is a special function that sets up an object with particular properties and behaviors. Okay, so if I try to make you understand with a very basic example, then everyone must have seen the potter's wheel. Okay, so potter's wheel is just like a base, or you can say it is a machine or a function which is creating different objects. Okay, but the machine is same. So what it is doing is creating different objects as per the requirement. So if we replace potter's wheel with a constructor, it is also doing the same thing, right? So आपके पास एक फंक्शन है जिसे हम लोग कंस्ट्रक्टर बोलेंगे. ओके, और उस कंस्ट्रक्टर की हेल्प से different ऑब्जेक्ट हम क्रिएट कर सकते. So now let us see this with the help of example how we do it. Okay, so let us see why we need constructor first. Okay, so if I say you have to create 5 objects, then what you will do, you can create it like this. Let user 1 equals, okay, so this is an empty object. Then you can have user 2. It can have some properties also, so name. Then you can have user 3. Okay, so like this you can create 5 user objects. So this is general form of creating an object, okay, using object literal, but it's quite time taking. As you can see, if properties are more than 2, then it's quite time consuming. It's good for 1 or 2 object creation, but not for multiple objects. If you have to create 1000 objects, then you can't use this method. Okay, so the smartest way of creating an object is using constructor. So I hope I have cleared one of your questions, why we use constructor. So let us delete this. Now we will create constructor, then we will create the object using new keyword. Okay, so let us see that. So here is our constructor function user. Okay, then we are passing 2 parameters, name comma age. Then we have constructor body, this dot name equals name, and this dot age equals age. So this is how we create a constructor in JavaScript. Now if we have to create an object of this constructor function, then we will do it like this. Let user equals new user, and we will pass the arguments for name and age parameters. So eDakshina, and in age I pass 1. Okay, now if you have to print it out on the console, then console.log, and user. If you have to print any specific property, then we will use dot. So user dot name and console.log user dot age. Okay, so if we run this, here is the output eDakshina and 1. And if we want complete object, then simply pass user, clear the console, then run it. So here is the output. Now let us understand what all these lines tell us. Okay, so when we have to define any constructor, we will use capital letter for the name of the constructor. Okay, so here U is capital. Next question coming in your mind would be why we are using this keyword here. Okay, so I have already given you an example of potter's wheel, right? So to make any utensil, you need clay and water. So you can say clay and water are the properties for making any utensil. Okay, and if you have to know the quantity of both the properties, or you can simply say if you have to ask for clay and water from someone or from the potter, so you will say like this, give me this much amount of water and this much amount of clay. Okay, same way this constructor is referring to the object with the help of this keyword. So this keyword is referring to the object user. Okay, so it is asking for give me the name and give me the age from this user object. So we have passed eDakshina and 1 as an argument here, right? So the name parameter value will be eDakshina and age parameter value will be 1. So here the values will be set like this, okay, e dakshina and 1, e dakshina and 1, okay. So quite visible now. And when we use console.log user.name, then this constructor function return name as e dakshina and age as 1 to us. And how do we create an object? So we use keyword new, okay, for object creation. So these are the two norms of creating constructor function. First is constructor name will start with a capital letter, and when we are creating an object, then we will use new keyword, then constructor name, and we will pass the argument. So now we can create multiple objects, okay. Let user underscore 1 equals new user abc. So this is quite easy than the previous method of creating an object, right? So if we want to get the output, then we can use this console.log user underscore 1. So these are the outputs. So this is our constructor, okay. Now let us create the object of it. So let user equals new user, passing the arguments, okay. Now suppose you want to add another property here, like this dot city, okay, equals city. So how you will do that? Let us see this. So if you have to add another property, what you will do? User dot city. Suppose I want to add city, so city equals Delhi, okay. Now we can check this also if it is added or not. So console.log and pass user in it, run it. So here is the output. You can see user object में 3 properties add हो चुकी हैं, name, then age, then city, okay. So this is the benefit of using constructor function, okay. Now the next is adding method to the constructor function, okay. So we can do this in 2 ways. Let us see that. So simply remove this. One thing is we can do here this dot, suppose method equals function console.log, and we want to print something, so hello, okay. So with the help of this keyword we can use method also in constructor function. Now we have already created the object, so let us call it, so user dot method, okay, user dot method, and last में semicolon. So with the help of this keyword we can add properties as well as method also. So run it, and here is the output, hello. Now let us see how to add method using object. So user dot method underscore 1, okay, equals function console.log. So I want to get this print on the console, and the word is world. Now simply call user dot method underscore 1 like this, okay. So now when we will run this, here is the output, hello world. So these are the 2 ways of using methods in constructor, okay. One is add as a form of property using this keyword, and another is using an object user which we have created here on line number 10. So user then dot method underscore 1, okay. So these are the 2 ways of using method in constructor. So I hope ये टॉपिक आप लोग को क्लियर हुआ होगा. If you have any doubts, then please do comment. Till then, goodbye and thank you.